The dark, humming corridors of the alien ship stretched endlessly. Bright, cold lights flickered above, casting long shadows that danced across the smooth metal walls. Lyra woke up on a cold, steel table, her body restrained by tight, unyielding straps. Panic surged through her as she struggled, but the restraints held her fast. She remembered being on a routine survey mission near the edge of the galaxy. One moment, she was collecting samples on an uninhabited planet, the next, she was blindfolded, drugged, and pulled onto this ship. The aliens had no mercy. Their species, the Virek, had one purpose for humans like her: to use them in experiments, to study the fragile human body, and to create weapons or tools for their conquest. Lyra could hear the low hum of the machines surrounding her. Strange instruments hovered nearby, glowing with an eerie blue light. Her heart pounded faster as she realized what awaited her. She wasn't the first human they captured, and she wouldn't be the last if she didn't escape. A voice echoed through the chamber, distorted but chilling. Subject ready for procedure. Begin the examination. She closed her eyes, trying to steady her breath. Panic would get her nowhere. Then, just as the metallic table began to tilt, a loud explosion rocked the ship. Alarms blared, red lights flashing violently. The Virek guards scrambled, confused, and shouting in their harsh, alien tongue. Lyra's restraints loosened slightly in the chaos. She didn't know if it was luck or timing, but she knew she had to act. She kicked and twisted, finally breaking free just as another blast shook the ship. Sparks flew, and a siren wailed. Through the flashing red lights, she saw him. A human. Real, alive, and terrifyingly close to being heroic. His armor was scratched and battered, his blaster smoking from the fight. His eyes met hers, and she felt a strange surge of hope. He was here to save her. "Get out of here," he shouted, firing at a group of Virek who had cornered her. He moved with precise, practiced skill, taking down guards effortlessly. Lyra didn't know his name, but she didn't care. Right now, he was her only chance. They ran together down the hallways, dodging patrols and leaping over fallen machinery. The ship seemed endless, but he knew the way. Lyra tried to ask questions, but the man kept moving, eyes scanning every corner, hands ready to strike. Finally, they reached the control room. The human slammed his palm onto a console, and the screens lit up with maps of the ship and escape routes. "We have minutes before the entire deck goes into lockdown," he said. "Follow me." Lyra noticed the scars on his arms, the tired lines on his face. He had been here before. He had fought these monsters before. There was no hesitation in his movements, only determination. Somehow, she trusted him instantly. As they sprinted toward the exit, a Virek scientist stepped into their path. Tall, thin, with a face that was both alien and cruel, he raised a weapon. "Do not attempt to escape, human. She is ours." The human didn't flinch. He fired. The Virek stumbled back, clutching its chest, then collapsed. Lyra's heart raced. She realized this wasn't just about her, it was about countless others, all trapped like her, all at risk of becoming mere subjects in these vile experiments. They reached a hatch leading to the shuttle bay. Through the windows, she could see the stars, cold and endless, calling to her like a promise of freedom. But the Virek were not giving up. Reinforcements poured into the corridor behind them. "Move," the man yelled. Lyra ran as fast as her legs would carry her. The ship shook again as the human detonated a charge, blowing the pursuing aliens off balance. They barely made it to a small escape pod. The human worked quickly, inputting codes and flipping switches with expert hands. The pod ejected just as the alien ship erupted in flames behind them. Lyra's stomach dropped as she watched the ship disappear into the void. But she didn't feel fear, she felt alive, free, because of him. As the pod floated safely toward a nearby human fleet, she finally caught her breath. Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. He looked at her, a faint smile breaking through his tired expression. "Just someone who refuses to let monsters win," he said. "You're safe now. That's what matters." Lyra sank into the seat, her hands still trembling. She had been doomed moments ago, facing an unknown and cruel fate. Now, she was free, thanks to a human hero who had risked everything for a stranger. For the first time, she allowed herself to feel hope. The journey back to Earth, or wherever the fleet would take them, was quiet. Lyra stared out the window at the stars, thinking of those still trapped on other alien ships, wondering if they would ever see freedom. But one thing was certain: humans had courage, determination, and a refusal to be broken. And maybe, just maybe, that was the greatest weapon in the galaxy. The human beside her didn't speak much. He checked the pod's controls and plotted their course through the stars. But Lyra didn't need words. His actions had already told her everything. Humanity could fight back. Humanity could save lives. And sometimes, humanity was enough to change the fate of the galaxy. As the pod disappeared into the darkness, leaving the smoldering alien ship behind, Lyra made a silent promise. She would fight too. Not just for herself, but for everyone who couldn't escape. She would never forget the human who had saved her life, and she would carry his courage with her forever. Somewhere, deep in the galaxy, other humans were out there, heroes in their own right, ready to stand against impossible odds. And Lyra knew, without a doubt, that as long as humans existed, there was hope. The stars stretched on endlessly, silent witnesses to the bravery, sacrifice, and relentless spirit of a species that refused to be conquered.